Hello, welcome to my channel. This is the 5.5 inch square card and envelope template tutorial. Let's begin. You'll need 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 8.5 inches by 11 inches. Starting with the card base, on the 8.5 inch side of this cardstock, we'll cut it at 5.5 inches. The piece that we have left over, we're going to cut that along the 11 inch side at 6 inches. This other piece is a scrap and we won't need that, so you can save that for later. So this smaller piece should measure 3 inches by 6 inches. Along the 3 inch side, score at 1 inch, and we'll set that aside for later. And now for the card base, we'll score on the 11 inch side at 5.5 inches. Fold, crease the fold, and here you have your 5.5 inch by 5.5 inch card base. We'll set that aside. Now let's move into the envelope. Here we're going to start following the steps in the envelope reference guide. On the 8.5 inch side, you're going to score at 1.25 inches and 7.25 inches. That's step number 1. Rotate your cardstock 1 turn to the left and score at 6 inches. And that's step number 2. So now we're done with the scoreboard. Now we're going to fold the score line on this small flap. This piece of cardstock is going to be the closing flap to your envelope. So we're going to need that in a moment. Now we're going to get ready to cut step number 3 into this piece of cardstock. I'm going to use a Sharpie to outline the areas that we're going to cut so that you can see a little bit better, as my lighting doesn't pick up the score marks very well. So here I've outlined step number 3, and I'm also going to outline step number 4, and I'll cut those together at the same time just to save some time. You can do these individually if you like, but I find it easiest to combine the 2 steps together, and then this is what we should have. Now we're going to crease the folds on this score mark here, and this is where we're going to add adhesive to close our envelope up. So I'll put some adhesive on this flap here. I forgot to score this line, but you can score it later. So we're going to adhere this together. Use my bone folder to press everything in. And now you'll notice that we have a little flap sticking up on our envelope. This is where we're going to adhere that 1 inch crease that we have on this spare piece of cardstock. So I hope this is starting to make sense. So we'll adhere this flap to our envelope, making sure you get it lined up, because you don't want to be able to see that transition. You don't want it to be obvious that this is an extra piece of cardstock. So once you have it all adhered together, this is what it should look like. Here is our 5.5 inch envelope complete, and our card slides perfectly inside. You can add some adhesive to the top flap of this envelope, and when you're ready to send your card, you can peel up the release paper and seal your envelope. There are many ways that you can take this envelope to the next level. You can use a pattern paper to create a liner for the inside of this envelope. You can also round the corners, decorate the front of your envelope to match your card, and so on. Here's a sample of a card and envelope that I created using this template tutorial. Now it's your turn. Try making a 5.5 inch square card and envelope using the paper that you have in your stash. Thanks for watching!